Minister Beatrice Atimwanywa believes that major irrigation schemes can facilitate crop growing in different parts of the country. She cited Namugasanyi and Mubuku in Kasese, Orange in Ilila, Lugazi Sugar, Agaro in Chitigumu, Kachira Sugar in Buyukwe, Tilda Chibimba in Iganga, Doho in Tororo, and Totaro Roses in Mukono and Wachiso. On irrigation, Dr. Bobe Kabari noted that as climate change takes toll globally, the challenge of growing food by smallholder farmers who rely heavily on rain, especially in developing economies like Uganda, is becoming tougher with less reliable harvests. He also said changing rainfall patterns and human-induced activities such as pollution and deforestation are forcing farmers to turn to nearby water channels to irrigate their crops like rice that requires small amounts of water.
Rice has become staple food in many countries, especially in the Sahel region. And rice needs a lot of water to be cultivated. Nowadays, there are new varieties of rice that demand more water. The water demand for that type of rice is less, and it's called Nerika. That's a type of rice that doesn't need too much water compared to the ones we used to cultivate. It's a very good rice. It's highly appreciated in the Sahel. It ranges from 90 to 120 days. That's the growing season of rice. Over the last 10 years now, and it's growing fast in many countries, almost everywhere in West Africa. They started it, I guess, even in East Africa in some places. The yields are very good, so that means it's a crop that can be heavily used for food security. It doesn't need too much water. It's well adapted to our conditions. In Uganda, it will work. I have no doubt on mine.
In the Nile River Basin, for instance, approximately 5.4 million hectares of land is irrigated for farming purposes, as the River Nile needs more than 250 million people residing within boundary. Farmers still believe that there is need to install high standard irrigation infrastructure in all potential irrigation areas to build resilience among farmers amid climate shocks. Due to the challenge of water access, some farmers are adapting by growing improved crops such as maize, beans, cabbages, and groundnuts that are fast maturing, drought resistant, and do not require a lot of water to grow.
Collaborating with research, we have got good planting materials that have resilience to diseases and pests and are high yielding. We have got good materials that we've given out to farmers, and they are being multiplied. With the knowledge that we provided on control of diseases, farmers have taken them up, and actually the demand for the planting materials, clean planting materials, has gone up, and many of them are demanding more for the materials.
A Kenyan farmer is gaining from the support of Water Fund to produce more crops. David Maina in Kigomo Village, Gatanga Sub-County, also commends Africa 21 for highlighting a local farmer's needs.
I'm growing cabbage and vegetables, tomatoes, spinach, sukuma wiki, pilipili hoho, and watermelons. I'm using the Carifa to irrigate. I'm using from water pan, avocados, yahas, and then macadamia.
An official with water diplomat, Dr. Tobias Smith, notes that planting trees should not stop at the river banks, but it should also be done in the community, adding that this will help fight climate change by improving the microclimate in the region.
Within a natural ecosystem, the plants are adjacent to the river and the roots are protecting the soil. And if we remove those plants, the soil will be eroded and all that material, including the nutrients in the soil, will be leached into the river, and the river will be full of siltation and organic matter, and it will start clogging up the dams that we use to collect our water. So if we have a protective zone, which includes planting by Napier grass, a buffer zone adjacent to the river, it protects the river, it prevents sedimentation from reaching the river, and it keeps our water pure and clean.
Some of the water experts on irrigation for food security. Funizawa, Sarah, Natoolo, reporting.